Okay, so the next session is titled "Dart Isolates Every Human Counts for Performant All and Performant All," and it will be presented by Ethiel. So please give him a big round of applause.
Hello. Okay, my name is Ethiel. I'm a software engineer and Google developer expert for Flutter and Dart. It's my first time in Japan. I'm very glad to be here. It's a very beautiful, nice country. So when I was coming, someone told me that if I reach the airport, I will see Naruto and Sasuke. But at the airport, I looked for them, but I didn't find them. So after the session, I will want you to show me Naruto and Sasuke. Okay, thank you. So the session is named "Every Frame Counts for a Performant App." Today we are going to talk about performance in mobile apps. So we all know that performance is a crucial factor for the success of apps. So what is a performant app? How can we define an app as performant? So mobile application performance indicates how an app is performing and how is it responsive to the users' interactions, how fast the application responds to the user's inputs, for example. So we can divide performance in four categories. Energy, so by energy I mean battery consumption, the speed, how fast the application process the data, process the inputs the users give to it, the app size, and the memory consumption. But today we're gonna focus on the speed. So by speed I also mean the smoothness of the app. So since it's a Flutter conference, we are going to talk about how we can make our Flutter mobile apps performant. So what makes a Flutter mobile app smooth and performant? Before diving into that aspect, I would like to talk about the 60 frames per second. Who has ever heard about that 60 frames per second? Great. So frame per second, FPS is a measurement of how many times an image is captured or rendered every second. So here we see that there are a lot of images that are rendered per second, and we have that sensation, that perception of motion. So for human eyes to perceive, to sense motion, image must be rendered at a frame of at least 12. So below that, as humans, we can see that there's a lag, or there's a lack of smoothness. Yes. So the same things can happen in mobile apps. So in our apps, if some frames take a lot of time to render, we can see that there are some lag and lack of smoothness. So later in the session, we are going to see the techniques you can use to prevent that kind of behaviors. So we all know that Flutter aims to render our frames at a rate of 60 60 frames per second. So a frame rate of a Flutter app refers to the number of frames or screen updates displayed per second. So a junk occurs when a frame is failed to render at that measure. So we can see that the app does not respond well. You can see some lags, and the updates of the screen are not that smooth. So that's how we can define a frame as slow. So a performant app is an app that renders frames well and at that measurement. So we all know that Flutter is a single single-thread language. We all know that, right? Okay, so in Flutter we have one thread, the user interface thread, that is responsible to handle our user interface updates, widgets, rendering, and so on. So what happens if, instead of focusing on user interface updates, we perform complex calculations on that thread? What can happen to our app? Lags, yes, great, that lags. So if you occupy the main thread with such complex calculations, our app can become less responsive, and we can see lags. It also can lead to more battery consumption. So here I've done a kind of profiling of a mobile app, and you can see that some frames take more than 60. Some frames take more than 60 milliseconds to render. So if you've used that app, you can notice that this screen is very slow. It's not smooth. So to perform that profiling, I've used that DevTools. So with that DevTools, you can make the profiling of your apps. So the solution to that is isolates. We know that isolates, right? Isolates, great. So isolates are that solution to multiprocessing. So with the isolates, we can perform, or we can delay complex calculations, complex tasks to other processors, and when the result is ready, we send them back to the main thread. So that's the basic idea of isolates. So you must also know that they do not share memory with the main thread. So you must be very cautious, because when you create an isolate, the data are kind of copied. So if you have 20 gigabytes on the main thread, and you spawn an isolate, you have 20 gigabytes on the isolate. So the data are copied. So you must be very cautious when you are dealing with isolates. So I've prepared a short demo. So let me re-render the app. So this is an old app I've coded for fun, I think 2 years ago. So it's a card that is an app that lists your cards and as well as your card transactions. So for example, when I click on this app, for example, on this card, I want to load the card transactions. So this button should load the transactions. So you notice a short lag because those transactions are from a JSON file. So I've decoded the data and rendered it on the screen. So let's go to that part. So I have a JSON file of the transactions. I read the file and I've decoded the JSON file and I pass it to the list view. So you can notice that this part is still done on the main thread, the user interface thread. So let me go back. Let me go back here. So you notice I said before it's a short lag because I think the file is you have around yes. I think 300 items, so the main thread is crying. So what if we change it? Instead of decoding this file on the main thread, we can delegate it to an isolate. So here, that provides us a simple method to spawn isolates. So just call isolate.run and you perform your logic inside that closure, and after that the result is sent back. So the pass data here returns the decoded JSON file. So first I get it here, and after that I've also delegated the mapping from the JSON file to the actual models to another isolate, and I've set my state and notified my listeners and here. So normally there won't be no lag, but it's an emulator, so the performance is not that great. On an actual device, sorry, just a minute. So on an actual device, there won't be any lag. So it's an emulator, and the performance is not that great. So let's get back to the talk. So to conclude, it's important to know the concepts of isolates and which kind of tasks or calculations, computations you want to perform on the main thread. So in order to have performant apps, responsive apps, you must delegate complex tasks to isolates to free the main thread. So thank you.
Thank you very much for enlightening presentation. So we have a lot of time to have like a question and answer. So please raise your hand if you have any questions.
Hey, thank you for your talk. I have a question. You use 2 isolates here. Is there a reason for that, or because each spawning of an isolate also costs resources, right?
Yes.
So you could put it into one, or?
Yes, I could have put them into one and the result is the same. So there's no particular reason.
There's no what?
There's no particular reason I've done that.
Okay, there's no reason, but
yes,
it would be faster with one, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for this talk. Is it possible you display from DevTools like before and after we see the frame? If there is like when you have a lag in during open list view, can we tracking using DevTool?
Yes. We can track the lags.
Yeah, I mean, can you show us like
okay? You want me to show
between before and after?
Okay.
Next to red button. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm opening that DevTools. No, it's not here.
Can you open using web view? I think it will be more simple, like Command Shift B, then
yes.
DevTool web. Yeah, yes.
Thank you. Which was which browser is it thinking? Let me check again. Let me check again. Yes, it's already running.
Yeah,
yes.
From here you can tracking now. I think you should close first one.
Let me close it. So
Then performance, I think.
Yes. Okay, let's just take. Okay, frame time. Yes, profile. You know, it's a profile.
No, I mean running from profile mode. If you run from the lab.
Yes, I think.
It will take too much time. It's okay, I think.
It's not supported by iPhone 50 Pro Max.
Okay,
the profile mode is not supported. So let's try simple.
Never mind. So you will see the difference and
Yes.
Yes.
appreciate very
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sense now to
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for the talk. I think you're talking about something like passing data between the isolates, right? Maybe you can put more.
Okay. You want okay.
No, not just nothing else. Like just like what is the
Okay,
best
okay,
way?
okay.
What is the best way to pass?
Okay. To pass data between isolates, we have ports. So here I've said that Flutter that provides a simple mechanism to spawn isolates is isolate.run. So if you want a control, a fine-grained control of the processes, you can spawn isolates, but you have to use ports. So you have a send port, a receiver port. So when you spawn your isolate, you send the data to a port. So after that, after let's say the task is completed, you send back to that port. So it's a kind of stream. So the stream is listening continuously to that port, and whenever the data is sent, you can handle it. Yes.
Yeah, I think got it. Like passing a pod is like passing a callback, and then once it finish, you will pass the data
Yes.
with that callback. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So your examples showed like reading from local storage like assets or whatever, right? But if you do future await async, like as far as I know, when you do network request or IO request, it's already on a separate thread, IO thread. So does it actually make a difference?
Please, can you come again?
So when you do reading from a log assets or whatever, JSON file, it
Yes.
should be default on an IO thread, separate thread from the main thread. As far as I know, the .vm doesn't run on the main thread.
Yes.
The reading,
Yeah.
it will notify you when it's finished. So is there any actual reason to do it in an isolate?
Okay. Here, it's not the reading that.
The parsing.
Yes, it's a passing.
Okay.
Yes. It's
So-
a passing of the JSON
so
that.
So for network request, obviously you don't need because it's already
Yeah.
in a separate thread. But if it's
Yes.
a long data parsing, then it makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, it makes sense. Thank you.
Anything else? We have a lot of time still. Okay. To the front.
So just in the interest of discussion, have you explored other performance hacks, like maybe running a separate Flutter engine, to like perform like really intensive computations, like ML or something?
No. I've not explored those paths. What I was explored is essentially based on, for example, when using a state management solution like Qubit, for example, Qubit, or let's say Flutter block. What I've noticed on a lot of apps is that we kind of wrap a whole widget tree under a block, but only a small part is deemed to tend to react to the data changes, for example. So I'm saying that I've not explored the engine part, but my exploration are based on the state management solution improvement. What you can do to only isolates data updates to a central part of a widget tree to avoid the whole tree rebuild, for example.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
Hi, thanks for the talk. What should we do on web?
Please.
What should we do on Flutter web?
What should we do on Flutter web?
Yeah, I think web doesn't support isolates. Or maybe we can fix it with Weather. I don't know. Maybe someone has experience.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I've not.
So I know that isolates don't work on a regular Flutter web app. So, but I don't know if it works with WASM. Maybe someone.
Okay. If I think if some if I think Remy can Remy can answer. Yes.
No, please go. I think web workers, does it an API from Dart to web workers?
Is there an official one?
I'm just curious.
I-
My default answer.
I don't know, but so that's why I'm asking.
Okay. I'm not sure web workers have kind of part in that. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Fine. Okay, thank you very much for insightful session and Q&A. Let's give a round of applause to him. So we have now a longer break until 5:45. So please visit Ask the Speaker corner and a sponsor booth as well. Then let's see at 5:45 again. Thank you.